Hello everyone. So in this lesson, we are going to learn another important search function that you will use in your Excel, which is HLookup, right? So HLookup is basically used similar to VLOOKUP, but when your data is arranged in horizontal form, right? So instead of using the column numbers, here you would actually use the row numbers for the same, right? So let's say we have the data which is product and price, and you can see that the data is laid out in the horizontal form, right? So let's say the product is laptop, and the price of it is 60,000, mouse 1500, keyboard 1200, monitor 7,000. Alternatively, generally what would happen is product would be here, laptop, mouse, keyboard, monitor would be here, price would be 60,000, 1500, 1200, 7,000. So that's how the data is laid out. But not every time you have the same type of layout. Sometimes the data is laid out this way. It's now, how do you do this? You actually do it similar to VLOOKUP, but you just say HLOOKUP, and then you open the bracket, then the lookup value. So basically, we are trying to look up for mouse, right? So let's say you're going to search for mouse, and how do you do that? I'm just going to write product is mouse, okay, and then let's say price is how much. So let's say I'm just going to make it like here. What we did here. Let's say the product is mouse. The price is what? Here, HLookup, and the lookup value is the value that we know, comma, the table array. So you select the table array similar to what you do in VLOOKUP. If you're not seeing the VLOOKUP, I would also suggest you can have a look at the VLOOKUP video as well. Now the row index number. Now how does the row index number work? You already have the row 1, right? You need the row 2, right? So from where you start, you'll take the next row, right? For example, if the price was the third row, you would be taking the third row, right? So from where you start is the first, the next one is the second one. So now what we want is the second row, right? And the range lookup is same, approximate match or exact match, right? So here, because the keyword mouse is exactly the same, so you're going to have an exact match, right? So I'm just going to close this, and now you can see that this is 1500. Now let's say if you can say keyboard, you'll see it to change similar to the same thing, laptop. I'll change to 60,000, right? So this is how you use HLookup with exact match. So now what is exact match? Exact match is when you know whatever we are searching for is exactly available in your data, right? So then you use exact match, right? So we'll also see where the exact match is not used with an example, right? So let's look at the next example. So in the next example, we have the data as sales amount and commission percentage, right? So here the data is laid out in a row, right? So if the sales amount is 0, then there's no commission, right? And the sales amount, if it is still 49,999 also, there's no commission. But if it is from 50,000 till 1 lakh, then you have 5%. From 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, you have 15%, right? So now what do we need? We need the commission for the sales amount of 1 lakh 20,000 or 120,000. So how do you do this, right? So this is where we will have a data, so a small table like this, and I'm going to just say sales amount, and what we know sales amount that we need to find is 120K, and then I'm just going to say commission percentage. Okay, now the formula would be equal to HLookup. The lookup value is the value that we know, comma, the table array from where the data starts to where the data ends, and here the row index number. We need commission that is written in the next, the second row. So you're going to write it as second row. But now, does your sales amount is your sales amount in your data table? No, it is not. It's not exact. So that is where you select approximate match, right? And when you do this, you'll be able to see that first 0.1 will come, which is actually 10%. Now, how do you make it? You select the percentage symbol here, and it'll show that this comes in 10%, right? So anything between 1 lakh to 2 lakhs is 10%. Let's try any other random value. Now 57,889, if that was the sales amount, the commission that will be received is 5,000. Let's check anything that is like, now anything above 2 lakhs, you'll get the 15%, right? So anything less than 50,000, you'll get 0%, right? So this is where you use approximate value, and this especially works with numbers. If you have the search amount a number, then approximate values work, and the sales amount cannot be always exact, right? So then also you can use this particular formula, right? So let us look at other examples to strengthen this concept. Okay, so now in this example, we're going to find the math score of Alice, right? So what do we need is this, right? So we're just going to say the student is Alice and the math score is what is needed. So you're going to do a HLookup, and then the lookup value. So the lookup value is Alice, right? So the value that we know. The table array is from where the data starts and where it ends. The row index number is basically the second row that is we need, right? So the second row is needed, and what match we want it to be an exact match, right? So now if you select this, now you know the math score of Alice is 90, but the math score of Bob is 75, right? So let's say if we were also being asked the science score, so what you do, you just say science score, but then here in the formula what you would do is we need the score of Bob, and the data would be the same data set, and the column row index number would be 3, right? So we need 3, and the match is exact match, right? So now it is 78. Now let's say we needed something for Carol. The Carol's math score is 88 and her science score is 85, right? So this way you can actually buy one particular search key. You can find all the relevant data points required by using HLookup and VLOOKUP, right? So one final example to see how HLookup works in clear sense. So in this example, we are trying to find the tax rate for an income of 75,000, right? Something similar we are going to do here. Okay, now what's happening? Here we are going to select the income as, let's say, 75,000. This is what we know, right? And the here we are going to write as tax rate. Okay, and we are going to do a HLookup, and what we are going to do, the lookup value is going to be 75,000, right? And the table array is going to be from where the data starts. The ideal way to select data is leave the headings out, right? Even in VLOOKUP also, if you leave the headings out, it's easy for mapping from what row number, and everything becomes easy. So that is the reason we are selecting from 0 to this 20%, excluding the headings. Row index number. The row index number here is 2 again, and the range lookup would not be exact match because 75,000 does not exist in this income level, and the income from person to person can vary, right? So you would want something which is an approximate match. So now how approximate match works is it will select the closest lowest value, right? For example, if you have 50, if you have 99,000 here in this data that you need to look up for, it is actually closer to 1 lakh, but it will not give you 15% tax rate. It will give you the 10% because the closest lowest value is that, right? So I'm just going to select this and enter this. You can see that it is 50%. So it's 10%, right? Which is in the 50,000 bracket. Anything above 50,000 till 1 lakh is going to attract 10%, right? So let's say even if you're going to select 89,999, you'll still be in the same bracket. Let's say, but if you're say 1 lakh one, you're in the 15% bracket, right? So from there, and you'll go to, let's say, 14, nine, you're still in the 15% bracket only, right? Only when you become 1,50,000, you're going to attract the 20% bracket. So how we look up or hedge lookup approximate match works is, whatever value you enter, it will take the closest, the lowest match, right? So this is how you use hedge lookup in cases where you need approximate match and where you need exact match. Enjoying this video? Boost your skills with our full course. Dive into projects, sharpen your problem solving, and become a confident professional. Ready to learn more? Click the link below or in the description to access the course. We would love to help you on your journey. Thank you.